So welcome back. We are reviewing our assessment, okay, which took place yesterday. And we are considering Cambridge IELTS, that is Cambridge IELTS 8, Test 1, Reading Passage 2, and the topic is Air Traffic Control in the USA. So the first question is all about list of headings. So it says you should spend 20 minutes on question 14 to 26, which are based on the passage. So we are going to look at question 14 to 26 and move on to something different. Okay, so list of headings. Reading passage 2 has 7 paragraphs, A to G. Choose the correct heading for paragraphs A and C to G. So usually they do paragraph A for us. But in this case, they have done paragraph B for us, okay? So that is why you see the instruction as A and C to G. And these are the list of headings. On the right hand is the passage itself. So let us review what you are going to do in list of headings. List of headings is one type of reading questions that give a lot of people headache and waste time. So you need to have developed your strength. You need to develop capacity on how to handle this question type. So especially the fact that most people, I'm sure, if I were to take your responses, you're going to say this passage is hard. But by the time we look at this passage today, you will see that you might be convinced not to say this is hard, because the principle, it's all you need, no matter what how the passage looks, no matter how complex and you might not be familiar. You don't have to be familiar with the reading passage or the context. All you need is to apply the rule and get out of there with the band score that you want. All right. So in list of headings, a lot of people have different way of approaching it. But I would say that you skim through your passage first. So after skimming through air traffic control in the USA, I look at paragraph A, B, C, D, and all that, just to have, in 2 minutes, I quickly do that, just to have an overview of what this place is talking about, because obviously I will have to read through if I'm going to get the list of headings. So that's the first point. The second thing is that we already have the instruction, and you might not even read through if you are very familiar with IF passages, because all you need to do is to consider what is paragraph A saying, what is the central theme of paragraph A. That will lead you to the to the heading you are going to give to it. So what this question is saying, that this passage has 7 paragraphs. There are 7 main ideas. 7 main ideas represented in this passage. And you are to find out those 7 main ideas and summarize them in headings, okay? So each paragraph contains a totally different idea, but they are connected, okay? So skimming through in the first place for the first 2 minutes give you an idea of that interconnectedness or connection that is between them. That is just the idea. And the fact that you are going to be answering some other questions later, for instance, in this passage, you are going to answer true, false, not given later. So that is just the idea of skimming through, having an idea of where the answers will be. All right. So you go through, and then a lot of people will also tell you to read headings before going to the passage. I would say at the end of the day, what matters is that you understand the paragraph. So I'm going to discourage that, because if you have this thing in your mind, you might be misled, okay? So now, I will have you read through paragraph A. Think through it, form ideas. What is the central theme of this paragraph A? Then look for what you think is the main idea in paragraph A, all right? Paragraph C, D, E, F, G. So you just look at that. I think that is worth more, can lead you make you not to be distracted, if you understand what I mean. So let's go to paragraph A. It says an accident. So let me try and take my annotate to take note of the main point here. So an accident that occurred in the skies over the Grand Canyon. Or if you'd like me to, okay, I don't want to skim through this passage, forgive me, okay? So I'll go through. So an accident that occurred in the skies over the Grand Canyon in 1956 resulted in the establishment of the FAA. And their function is to regulate and oversee the operation of aircraft over the United States. We all know it's all about air traffic control in the USA. Okay? Now, the resulting structure, the resultant of that effect, the resulting structure of air traffic control has greatly increased the safety of flight, and similar air traffic control procedures are also in place over much of the rest of the world. Okay. The central thing in the main idea, what I can quickly think about is the establishment of FAA. What led to the establishment of FAA? Okay, what led to the establishment? So this paragraph is telling us what led to the establishment of FAA. Now, and then they gave us an information also that this has improved the safety, okay? But I would say the main theme is what led to the establishment of FAA in the US. You agree with me? So I have that in mind. And what led to it is an accident, okay? So my major thing here for me is the establishment of FAA, how FAA came into action. What led to it? That is the question this paragraph is answering. Now I'm going to now look at my list of headings. Okay, I have establishment of FAA, I have accident, those are the key things there, and okay, so let's look at disobeying. So definitely not that. Aviation disaster prompt action. That looks like an accident. And there was an action. An accident that occurred in the sky over resulted in the establishment of FAA. Okay? I'm saying, could it be this? Could it be this? Now, two coincidental development. Majorly, it is just one development in this paragraph A. Setting altitude, nothing like that, nothing like the 5, nothing like controlling pilot licenses. We are not defining any airspace categories. No weather condition was mentioned. Taking off safely. First step towards ATC. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking this is all about the establishment of FAA and what led to it. Could it be first steps towards ATC? Did they mention ATC? What is ATC? Air traffic control. Air traffic control, okay? Could it be first step towards ATC, or could it be aviation prompt action? Okay, so these are the two that looks like it at all. All right. And the answer is 2. Because even if in an examination condition, you are like me and you are thinking 2/10, what I didn't show you is that they have already used 10. Let me see. So I will show you that later. I don't want to mess up this screen. So paragraph B has been done for us. And the answer given was 10. First steps towards ATC. Okay? So don't forget that each paragraph is all about a main idea. So that rules out 10. Okay? Leaving me with this accident, which is obviously that's the. So instead of them saying that, putting there the what led to the establishment of FAA, which I have in my mind, they have put it, that development, as an action here. That is the action they've taken. The establishment resulted, a result, a solution was provided, okay, which was due to the, so it's like aviation disaster from the development of FAA. All right. I'm sure I've bored you with so much information there. All right. You can see how we think through the answer to these passages. Sorry, I'm still muting us. I'm still going to ask us for our idea. Just let me run through this for now. At least when I get to the middle of it, then you can ask me a question. I said paragraph B has been done for us. I'm not looking at that at all. Okay. Now in paragraph C, this is also all about so in paragraph C, this is also all about a main theme, okay? Central message that they want to pass across in C and how they are connected anyway. So in the 1940s, ATC centers could and did take advantage of newly developed radar and improved radio communication brought about by the Second War. Okay, so air traffic control centers could and they did take advantage of newly developed radar. So there was a new development, which was development of radar. So don't forget, I said which I didn't show here, that a lot of people missed this paragraph C. Okay, now there is a development here, which was the development of radar and improved radio communication brought about by the Second War. But the system remained rudimentary. Sorry, I've almost cleaned it up. It was only after the creation of FAA that full-scale regulation of American airspace took place. And this was fortuitous. For the advent of jet engines suddenly resulted in a large number of very fast planes, reducing pilot blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Okay? So this place is telling us about a newly developed radar and improved radio communication. Okay? Now, and this was fortuitous for the advent. This gave an opportunity for the advent of the jet engine, suddenly resulting in a large number of very fast planes. Okay, so let's see. They were talking about the development of these radios, which also led to all this as well. So there was nothing like disobedience there. We have taken these, we've taken two coincidental development, okay? This is development. Certain altitude zones, no. It's not about a view. They talked about pilots somewhere here, reducing pilots something. They didn't talk about controlling pilot licenses, okay? So don't forget that we are looking for a main idea represented in that place, okay? Now, defining airspace categories, no. You can see, leaving us with these two coincidental developments. All you need, I think when we act out of fear, we make mistakes. That, oh, this passage looks horrendous. But if you look at it, it's the instructions, the information given are quite straightforward. So the ATC centers took advantage of the newly developed radar and improved radio communication, okay, which was rudimentary anyway. It was only after the creation of FAA that full-scale airspace took place. So this took place, the development of that and the advent of jet engine. These are two coincidental developments they are talking about in paragraph C. Let me allow us to talk here because this is something a lot of people missed. Let me see if I can allow you to unmute yourself. Okay, is it clear at all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So sorry.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. All right. So what I'm trying to paint here is that it is as good as if they are lifted. Someone just mute yourself, please. Oh my God. So
Can I say my word now?
all right, I just muted everybody now. Now, so if they give you this paragraph C alone, the question, all this question is as good as they lifting paragraph C alone before you and say what is the central thing, and they gave you all this list of headings. Okay, you will still have taken two coincidental developments. All right, so let's move on to paragraph D. Sorry, I'm also looking at the time. I have 30 minutes to spend on this, okay? Now, paragraph D says, many people think, this is a perception, that ATC consists of a row of controllers sitting in front of their radar screens at the nation's airports, doing blah, 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 all right? Now, this says this is a very incomplete part of the picture. The FAA does more than that. Sorry, can everybody hear me now? I had some technical issues, sorry. So now, many people think that ATC control consists of a row of controllers sitting in front of their radar screens, okay? So this is a very incomplete part of the picture. They do more than sitting in front of the screen. Now, I'd like to read through so that to confuse you more. So they now said that the FAA realized that the airspace over the United States would at any time have many different kinds of airplane flying, blah, blah, blah. Now, they were saying that they realized that the airspace will contain different kinds of planes for different purposes in a variety of weather conditions, okay? And the same kind of structure was needed to accommodate all of them. All right, so this place is basically telling us what ATC, what they do, that it is more than the perception of people. That is what this paragraph is talking about, all right? That the FAA controls the airspace, which we all know, for different planes, different kinds of planes, flying for different purposes in different weather conditions. So the fact that they mention weather condition does not validate this one as the answer. All right. It says many people think that ATC consists of a row of, that is a perception. Now, this is very incomplete part of the picture. A lot of this, in this passage, lot of the topic sentences were placed in the first statement or the second. Now, if you have watched my video on how you can quickly identify the topic sentence, understand IF passages very quickly. When I was talking about that, I made mention of two things you must be very careful about, which are subtopics, which are just some ideas, supporting ideas, and signposts. Now, I'll come back to signposting. But this place, let's look at what is the heading. It's not about disobedience. We've chosen this one. We've chosen this one. No. Now look at this, an oversimplified view. Okay, that so the paragraph is talking about people's perception is oversimplified, is incomplete. Okay, because FAA does more than what people think. That was what brought about weather conditions. Now, why do they have to bring this path? And speaking about this specifically, this weather condition or situation where pilots in the United States flies, okay? This is a signpost because they were going to talk more about the challenges, okay? So the writer informed us of a transition is going to happen. He's going to talk more about the airspace in the US and introduce the next idea here, okay? While he was still talking about the oversimplicity of people perception about what FAA does. So that leaves us with these 5 as the answer. Okay, it was not about this one. It wasn't about any other. It wasn't about taking off safely. It's all about the oversimplified views of people about FAA. All right. I'll move on to paragraph E. All right, let me move this a bit. Okay, so paragraph E. To meet these challenges, it starts by saying that so to meet these challenges that they already mentioned above, first, ATC extends over virtually the United States. Okay, you can see that is not likely going to be the topic sentence here. Still introducing us. In general, from 365 meters above the ground and higher, the entire country is blanketed. So, control airspace. All right, so it says that in general, so they've started talking about the control airspace now. All right. So in the entire country is blanketed by control airspace. In certain areas, mainly airport, mainly near airports, control space, blah, 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 blah. Control airspace again is that airspace in which FAA regulation apply. Elsewhere, it is uncontrolled. Pilots are banned by blah, blah, blah. Don't forget, I'm still treating list of headings, so I'm not going really into details. Okay. Yes, why the pilot who does not, so they are talking about the airspaces here. Okay, they are talking about the airspaces. So what is the heading you are going to give paragraph, what's that? Paragraph E, which was our number 4. Okay, disobeying, no, there was no disobedience there. We've used this. Probably I should leave whatsoever. I've crossed all these. They've taken this for us. So this meeting is going to end in 10 minutes. I've been informed, but we are still going to run through everything. Okay, so certain altitude zones, We have used this, so I'm crossing it out. Controlling pilot licenses. Was there anything like controlling pilot licenses? No. Defining airspace categories. Setting rules to weather conditions, taking off safely. Now, you go back to this place, it says first, ATC to meet a challenge, okay? They wanted to do something. ATC extend over virtually years. So they were now controlling, they were setting altitude as it were, because it was talking about when you fly above 365 meters, that is control airspace. When you come down below that, it is uncontrolled airspace. So controlled airspace is that airspace in which FAA regulation apply. Elsewhere, in uncontrolled airspace, pilots are banned by fuel regulations. So they were going to talk about these airspaces. They were defined. So you are likely, you are likely going to be between these and these. Any other thing you choose are just irrelevant, okay? They are not talking about. So how do I choose between whether they were defining airspace categories or setting altitudes? So you can see here they were talking about the altitudes. So I will go with this, okay? Now, if in an exam condition, you chose, okay, within 4 and 7, because as you go down, you are going to prove your answers. This place was talking about, but if you don't understand the meaning of altitude, okay, they were just talking about zones, control, they categorize them as control airspace and uncontrolled airspace. That is what paragraph E essentially was telling us about. Now, I'll move on to paragraph F. To clear your doubt. Now, the FAA then recognized two types of operating environment. So in good meteorological condition, flying will be permitted under so. Okay? So if you know what that means, meteorological condition, you know they are talking about weathers. Okay? Flying will be permitted under visual flight rules, in which if you watch all this news, when they want to talk about weather conditions later, and especially when it has to do with height and airspace, they will talk about this, okay? So on a clear day, blah, 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 you can see, however, so on a clear day, pilots in control airspace can choose some instruments. So they were talking about the instruments you use under difficult, under difficult weather condition, you use this. Under normal and clear condition, you use that. So that is what this place was talking about. Anything, so leaving us more like, it looks more like this. Let me see if anything look like it to confuse us. So I think what make people to miss this thing is that once you don't identify the central message in one and you think you can't use that again, you begin to rationalize why that wrong list of heading is the answer to your next one. Okay, so feel free to choose one or two answer, consider one or two answer to that question before, and then you finalize at the end of the day. Okay, so you can see it's all about setting rules to weather condition in paragraph F. It's all about setting rules to weather condition. All right, sorry, I'm trying to be fast as well because I don't want to come back and discuss this question freshly on a new Zoom meeting time, okay? We have just 5 minutes to go. So I'm going quickly to talk about paragraph G. So control airspace is divided into several different types designated by letters of alphabet. So this place is definitely talking about how they have categorized airspace, controlled airspace. As you will prove with the other points, they talk about uncontrolled airspace are class F, controlled airspace are these. You understand why controlled airspace, instead of talking about controlled airspace are class E directly, they tell us the altitude first. Controlled airspace are below 5,490 meters above the sea level. They are not in vicinity of airport. Are not in the vicinity of airport is class C, you can see. So all airspace above so is class A, you can see it. So they're just mentioning everything there. Now the difference between class E and A airspace is that class A is so instrument controlled and all that. 3 other types of airspaces are so you can see. And as every other thing, you can see that it's all about defining the airspaces, defining the airspaces or categorizing the airspaces, as you can see, leaving us with this Roman numeral 7. So you can clear your doubt. One thing that will not waste your time, look for the central message. As difficult as this passage appears, most, if not all, the topic sentences were located in the first or second paragraph. That makes it a lot more easier for anyone who have practiced high-earth questions over the time. Don't forget that more than 80% of time, the topic sentence is located in the first paragraph. And for people who are not familiar, I know we have mixed class these days because a lot of people just join our free class, you know. So list of headings is not about synonyms. It's not about what you can see in the passage and then quickly looking at it. That is a strategy for something different. List of headings is all about you looking for the central message in each paragraph. What is the paragraph saying essentially? And try and form your own words, then come back to this list of headings, look for whatsoever it looks like. You can see and then you don't use all the, definitely we have like 6 questions only. We have 10, one was done for, so 6 out of 9. You can see you won't use everything. So, and one thing I would like to say conclusively, I'll allow us to talk now because I need to end this part. Conclusively, when you see any passage that have list of heading, no matter how difficult it appears, don't approach it with fear. The information you are looking for to answer the question is in that passage. That is how I think. The information I'm looking for is in the passage. All you need to identify is a central idea in that passage, usually in the first or second. When it is not in the first or second, it goes to the last, except in few instances. Okay? Do we have any question at this point? We have just 1 minute. Any question? All right, I'm going to end this section now, and when we come back, there will be more time. All right, so let me just end this section. There will be more time about things, okay? Let me just end this section. There will be more time, I assure you.